Between 2 and 3 a.m. on Saturday, February 4th, 2012, shots rang out in an alley of Reading. No one called the police. Little did they know, 22-year-old Anthony Gonzalez was slowly dying in an alley, calling out for help. No one answered those calls for help. His body wasn't found until 6 hours later. Wilfredo Rodriguez was a kid looking for the right path, surrounded by all the wrong ones. His eyes told it all. I saw kindness combined with torment and anger. On January 20, 2012, Wilfredo gave in to that anger and picked up a gun and, along with his cousin, gunned down 3 of his neighbors, killing 2 and wounding a 3rd. Jason Rodriguez seemed to be turning his life around. He was working on finishing his high school diploma. He was 2 days from marrying his fiancée. He was working, going to school, and taking care of his 6-month-old son and his mother. This was all cut short on November 24th, 2010, as he was shot in the back. He was walking home from school that day. It is unclear whether it was his past catching up to him or a current issue. Either way, another child is left without a father. I first met Matthew Perkins when he was 11 or 12 years old. He was a status seeker. One-on-one, he was an ordinary kid. He would talk about joining the military and other future goals. Put him in with his peers, and he'd act out to look hard and gain favor with the gang members. On July 30th, 2011, while at a party, Matthew pulled a gun out and shot 3 people, killing 1 and wounding 2 others. Henry Casson Jr. was shot to death on December 21st, 2010. This was probably the second hardest name to read in the news. I was able to see both sides of Henry. He had a smile that would brighten up your worst day. He was born into the wrong family. His older brother was a ranking gang member, and his brother's gang activity was supported and promoted by their mother. I was not shocked when I read that on January 17, 2010, Martise Thomas shot and killed another man. Martise will be spending the first 12 and a half to 25 years of his adult life in prison. He was a very angry young man who looked like he had a chip on his shoulder. Jose was a soft-spoken young man. He was always respectful to me. I could tell he was a follower, though. Jose and a friend robbed a young boy. When they were confronted by the boy's father and uncle, Jose's friends stabbed the 2 adults. Jose, a 16-year-old young man, is now charged as an adult. Kids killing kids. As an Iraqi freedom veteran, the first question I am asked by teens is, "Did you kill anyone?" I don't answer the question. Instead, I educate them on why not to ask people that question. I educate them on the value of human life. In the days of shoot-them-up video games with unlimited lives, children unconsciously learn to devalue human life. In educating them on this value, they see how this decision can haunt a person. But if one never learns how to appreciate the value of human life, they never think twice about pulling the trigger. I never met Willie Tonino. I unfortunately knew the juveniles that wanted to rob somebody for the fun of it. On September 12, 2010, Willie was out with some friends when at about 1:30 in the morning, the group was approached by 3 older teens. Willie's friends took off. Willie tried to defuse the situation, but instead he was assaulted, and when he fell to the ground, he was shot multiple times. The group then took his sneakers as he lied on the sidewalk, dying. These 3 were arrested for the murder of Willie Tonino. I met each of these 3 juveniles. The shooter was Rodrigo Arnana, who I met multiple times for multiple different reasons. Alexis Rosario's name was the hardest name for me to read. In the paper, it was just another drug dealer gunned down by a playground. To me, it was a young man who had a lot of promise. He was always very respectful to me. I saw him as the proverbial teddy bear. He was a product of his surroundings. In the right long-term placement, this kid could have been a success story. Instead, he was killed on April 14, 2011. Juveniles' path to this grisly end usually starts with a combination of home life and their disengagement with school. This is why I chose teaching over juvenile detention. In my experience, by the time the juvenile reaches the detention center, they have given up on school. This is why I enjoy teaching the underachievers. Showing students the value of education and how it can change their future is my goal as a teacher. This is one of the most important tools that I use daily in my work in the detention center, and now I use in my classroom. If we as teachers don't realize that in order to engage these at-risk kids, we need to build the basic safety and belonging and love needs into our classroom. Focusing on the environment of the classroom is so important for our at-risk students. If done properly, it may seem that the environment outweighs the learning, but in the end you'll be shocked how much learning actually goes on. Also, you will see how the students begin to value their education.